Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're looking at 5 movie musicals that did justice to their stage versions, and 5 that couldn't hold a candle to the original.
Stop milking it!
So you catch me in a ride up to my age, put it away on a lot of shelves.
Number 5. Didn't work. The Producers.
How dare you condemn me without knowing all the facts?
Oh, Mr. Bialystock, I wasn't condemned.
Shut up! I'm having a rhetorical conversation.
Adapted from his own 1967 movie of the same name, Mel Brooks's 2001 Broadway farce about 2 crooked producers became the most decorated show in Tony Awards history at the time. Considering it had the same director and co-leads as the stage production, how could the movie version go so wrong? Well, for starters, they didn't bother to adapt its humor for the screen.
Why Bloom go so far, camera right? Bloom no like Ula.
In some ways, the movie feels more like they just captured the stage play on camera rather than a movie in its own right. Loaded with theatrical gestures and fourth-wall breaking jokes that just didn't play well for the camera, The Producers was a box office flop.
I'm drowning! I'm drowning here! I'm going down for the last time!
Number 5. Worked. West Side Story.
It may come cannonballing down to the sky, gleaming its eye, bright as a rose.
In 1961, Tony and Maria's epic love story captured movie audiences just as it had on Broadway 4 years earlier. 60 years later, Steven Spielberg had a lot to live up to with his remake. West Side Story is the kind of melodramatic, dance-heavy musical that just isn't as at home on movie screens anymore. But when the adaptation finally arrived, it infused the story with new life and a fresh, modern perspective without robbing it of what makes it so special and so thrilling. A clever alteration to the character Doc allowed for original star Rita Moreno to deliver one of the score's most haunting songs. It's a tribute to Spielberg's ability to celebrate the past while still remaining in the present.
Hold my hand, and we're halfway there. Hold my hand, and I'll take you there.
Number 4. Didn't work. The Phantom of the Opera.
So silent, good monsieur. Did you think that I had left you for good?
It took nearly 20 years for this one to make it to the big screen. Maybe they should have waited a little longer. Andrew Lloyd Webber's show is legendary for its extravagance, its romance, and its incredibly demanding music. The minimum requirement for its stars should be that they can sing.
Down we plunge to the prison of my mind. Down that path into darkness deep as hell.
As the Phantom, Gerard Butler is already a bit too young and handsome, but his dodgy vocals rob the character of his charm, and the problems only start there. The movie feels overly long, stuffed with sets that are underlit and musical numbers that are robbed of much suspense. For many fans, it's enough. For everyone else who hadn't seen and loved the musical, it might have left them scratching their heads and wondering what all the fuss was about.
It's nothing short of shocking. He is mocking our position. In addition, he wants money. What a funny apparition. To expect a large retainer, nothing plainer. He is clearly quite insane.
Number 4. Worked. Dreamgirls.
We are dream girls. Dream girls will never leave you. No, and all you've got to do is dream, baby. We'll be there.
Based on the real-life careers of musical acts like the Supremes and the Shirelles, the 1981 production of Dreamgirls was a Broadway sensation. The 2006 film was pitched perfectly to the modern-day audience. Starring Beyoncé, Jamie Foxx, Eddie Murphy, and Jennifer Hudson, who would win an Oscar for this, the movie blended everything that made the show so great with incredible cinematic technique. Its chart-friendly score, incredible ensemble, and iconic moments helped it gross over $100 million at the box office. Coming out after some other less successful musical adaptations only helped it stand out for everything it got right. Number 3. Didn't work. 9. The last time director Rob Marshall had directed a musical, it was a smash hit. More on that later. His 2009 follow-up about a director in crisis took on a meta quality when it bombed.
How I wish it didn't have to be so. But we cut the losses starting now. Strike the set and keep it for some sideshow. Tell the cast and crew that they can all go.
Based on the 1982 Broadway musical, which has as its source the Italian film 8 1/2, 9 is a slick but shallow and joyless rendering of a fascinating story. Star Daniel Day-Lewis is a great actor. However, he's not exactly a music man.
To be bruised or the market Assad. I would like to be Christ, Mohammed, Buddha, but not have to believe in God. And you know I mean it with all of my heart.
The show is a series of vignettes that bounce back and forth between past and present, but this didn't translate well to the screen. The addition of unnecessary original songs didn't help matters much either. Critics were fairly consistent. 9 is all flash, no substance.
Thank you.
What for?
Thank you for reminding me I'm not special.
Number 3. Worked. Chicago.
Come on, babe, why don't we paint the town? And all that jazz.
A few years before 9 tanked at the box office, director Rob Marshall was celebrated for practically reviving the entire movie musical genre with Chicago. From the unforgettable All That Jazz to the deliciously deranged Cell Block Tango, the Cantor and Ebb musical got a lurid and splashy update for the 21st century. While the story takes place in the Jazz Age, it was a musical for the present. This wasn't some outdated and naive song and dance show. Dark, sexy, and ingeniously staged. Chicago's sense of wicked irony captivated audiences and scored major awards attention. It was the first musical in over 3 decades to win the Best Picture Oscar. Number 2. Didn't work. Dear Evan Hansen. Ben Platt won a Tony for his work as this title character, but what made him great on Broadway didn't come across on screen.
We start with stars in our eyes. We start believing that we belong. But every sun doesn't rise. And no one tells you where you went wrong.
To combat Platt's advanced age in the role of a high schooler, the filmmakers made the decision to give him a hairstyle that bafflingly aged him up about another 10 years. But that's just the beginning.
You obviously should not talk to her. You are a literal disaster.
If you're gonna have a protagonist who makes as many morally questionable decisions as Evan Hansen, you're going to have to make your movie overwhelmingly good. The show doesn't exactly absolve Evan of his sins, but the movie seems determined to make him more of a bystander in his own story. Taking itself way too seriously, it's not even fun to watch in a campy way.
Words fail. Words fail. There's nothing I can say.
Number 2. Worked. Funny Girl.
I'm the greatest star. I am by far. But no one knows it.
Audiences who weren't lucky enough to catch Barbra Streisand's star-making performance on Broadway in 1964 finally got to experience it on screen 4 years later. While the original show was plagued by script problems, the movie salvaged the best parts of the story and swapped out some songs to fit Streisand's movie debut. As a movie, it's a classic, but as a star vehicle, it's unimpeachable.
Get ready for me, love, 'cause I'm a comer. I simply gotta march, my heart's a drummer. Don't bring around a cloud to rain on my parade.
Funny Girl is as much about Streisand as it is about the woman she's playing. From her allegedly offbeat looks to her crystal clear voice, the movie became a perfect showcase for everything that was endearing about Streisand herself. Before we unveil our top picks, here are a few honorable mentions. Didn't work. A chorus line. The movie fundamentally misunderstands what the original show is about.
What does he want from me? What should I try to be? So many faces all around, and here we go.
Didn't work. Rent. The whimsy of its bohemian ideals were lost in the transfer from stage to screen.
Dearly beloved, we gather here to say our goodbyes. Here she lies.
Worked. Little Shop of Horrors. Even a more upbeat ending couldn't dull Little Shop's edges.
I'm just a mean green mother from outer space, gonna trash your ass, gonna rock this place. I'm mean and green, and I am bad.
Worked. Hairspray. Had people dancing in the aisles.
You're joining this program already in progress.
Let's go.
Worked. Grease. The decision to revise the original story paid off big time and made it a classic.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Didn't work. Cats.
Who'd have ever supposed that was Grisabella?
Director Tom Hooper's mix of overwrought operatics and gritty realism didn't endear everyone to his vision for Les Miserables, but at least that movie was competent. Cats is a nightmare come to life.
Now for the icing on the cake.
Why did you want another Jellicle line?
I can't keep being in this kitchen.
Given the show's threadbare plot, a movie version was always going to be an uphill battle. But instead of leaning into its fantastical elements and sense of whimsy, the movie tries to streamline the narrative in a way that just reveals its weaknesses. It was a bomb in every department. From its Snapchat-like filter effects to its musical numbers, which look less like Broadway and more like the Uncanny Valley, it's gone down in history as an all-time low for the genre.
There's no doing anything about.
Number 1. Worked. Cabaret. Here's an example of a screen adaptation that perfectly adapts the source material.
Leave your troubles outside. So, life is disappointing. Forget it. In here, life is beautiful.
Cabaret received a massive overhaul on its way to movie theaters. Bob Fosse's masterpiece cut several elements from the original 1966 production. Many songs, entire characters, and major subplots are done away with, but it never feels like you're missing anything.
Come taste the wine, come hear the band, come blow your horn, start celebrating, right this way your table's waiting.
Focusing on nightclub singer Sally Bowles and her relationship with an English writer in 1930s Berlin, the themes of creeping fascism are conveyed through editing and sound design. Its numbers have become iconic in their own right, and some of the new songs written for the film were even added into the show's score for subsequent live stagings.
So I do what I do. When I'm through, then I'm through, and I'm through. Toodaloo.
What other movie musicals could have made this list? Tell us in the comments.
Yes, I do. Anything for you.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.